What are you consuming and what is consuming you? You see, the more I consume something, the more I grow an appetite for it. I think of my 3 kids. 3 of them have a dairy intolerance, and my youngest is especially bad. But he loves yogurt and he loves ice cream. Every single time he eats it though, he gets tummy cramps. And we've had to adjust recently what he's consuming because the consequences of eating this type of food are just outweighing the pleasure that he's receiving every time he consumes it. And for some of us, we have to make those adjustments in our spiritual life because the Word of God is something that God calls us to hunger for, and He calls us to study. He calls us to grow in our consumption of the Word of God. Hebrews 5 verses 12 to 14 actually says that we become spiritual babies, having the milk of the Word, which is the elementary teachings of the Word, and then we must grow to mature believers who are eating it like solid meat and are actually able to teach it to others. And so if you look at your own spiritual life and how much you've grown in studying the Word of God, have you grown to such a degree that you can teach it to others, that you're consuming and that you have a hunger to grow in it? So we actually grow in distinguishing what's morally good and not good, and we grow by practicing. And so when I'm hungry for it, it changes me morally, and I go into a place of practice. And this is not necessarily something easy, but it's so powerful, and actually it's spiritual warfare. I think of my husband. He once, many years ago, decided he's going to grow in consuming the Word of God. He was changing 1 or 2 habits, and he decided he's going to read more and he's going to study the Word. And when he had decided that, he had a dream, and in this dream he encountered a demonic presence, and this demonic presence had an empty head, and it was trying to attack him. And really what this meant was that the Lord was revealing to him the spiritual power behind keeping him empty-headed. Meaning the enemy was threatened by the fact that he wanted to fill himself up. And God was showing him that there was a spiritual war going on to keep him in a place of not consuming the Word of God. You see, sometimes we think watching a movie with immoral behavior, or maybe just spending time sowing into our flesh, doing things that are pleasurable, we think that that is rest, right? But what it actually does is it takes us into a place of unrest, like sets, tummy cramps, because the more I am consuming things in the flesh, the more I have to resist the enemy, and the more I have to fight off temptation, which actually takes me to unrest, and it's not peaceful when you're in that place. And so actually, if I'm consuming more of the Word of God, and I'm listening to more sermons on the Word of God, and I'm filling myself in the Spirit, that actually becomes a place of fulfilling and a place of true rest. So stop consuming the things that are bad for you.